Hi, it's Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is a trading tutorial for harmonic patterns. I'm using our harmonic pattern indicator suite for the TradingView version. In this example, I'm on the 12-minute chart for EURGBP, and I want to go through what to look for when it completes, where the entry would be, and how to manage it. I'm going to use the manager, which is another indicator suite we have to manage this trade. So first of all, I'm going to play this trade, this chart forward on the replay, just to go through. So at the moment it's forming a back pattern. There's an A, B, C, D here. This D pivot though is not in this automated completion zone down here. For this pattern to be correct and good, this D pattern needs to complete into this completion zone, then start to move away. So let's just play this forward. Okay, now we get a big rejection candle, tips right on the top of that completion zone. I've just put this zone in here, this resistance zone as well. There's a previous D pivot that failed at this point where my cursor is on the left. Also the C pivot for this current harmonic. This is really, I don't want to get in before that, if you like. So I need to be clear of that if I'm going to trade this at all. So let's just continue to play this forward a little bit. So we do seem to be moving away from this automated completion zone, tipped right on it, and these are overlaps of fib levels and retracements and extensions. Now this tipped on it right to the tick, so this is pretty good. This is a Forex pair. It could be futures, it could be stocks, it could be crypto. It's the same thing. It works the same way. Works on behavior and looking for these patterns. So we've rejected off there. Now remember, we don't want to really enter until we get above this resistance, but also I've got my EMA cloud on there as well. So the EMA cloud, if we go up to here, is set onto 21, which is an average. So when I get this on a 12-minute time frame, when I get this D wave complete, I've got two options. I've got this non-linear support and resistance zone that I can enter going through and on the other side of this EMA cloud here, plus then I've got really my very strong resistance zone that I want to get through. So let's play this through. So remember, really I'm looking for a break through that linear support and resistance zone. Now look, we then get another test of this zone to form a double bottom. This is not coincidence. So we've got another test of that same completion zone here to form that double bottom. Really great chart pattern here. We've got a harmonic back pattern that's completed. We can't push through this C pivot level at the moment, but we've come down to test this previous D pivot level, and it's held and it's moving back up again. Again, when we're trading double bottoms, we're looking to go through the pivot for long, but again we've got to make sure we're above this C pivot for me here on the left, so my entry is just on the other side of that resistance level there. So let's play this forward. There, we get the entry at this point here. Okay, our stop is below the lowest pivot just here, so our stop is just around, just below this pivot, around about 0.85733. This is our entry. Now once we are in, let's place the stop loss underneath here for now, because now we're in. We've used a strategy to get in this trade. We've used the harmonic back pattern complete. We've noticed it's come down to test as a double bottom again. We've sensibly said our entry's got to be above this resistance zone here. We're in the trade. Gone through this strategy on how we've entered this trade, the signals that we've got with the harmonic pattern to get it, but now it's all down to the manager. Forget the harmonics, all down to the manager. So I'm just going to take the EMA cloud off here for a second, just so you can see the manager very clearly. So the manager is made up of different parts. It's got coloured candles, it's got dots underneath and dots up above. We're going to talk about those, and also this bias cloud as well. So let's just play this forward a little bit more, talk about the price action as it goes forward. Now we start to move up here, really great looking move. You can see the green cloud starting to move slightly further apart. So we've got this bullish bias. We've broken through this A pivot from this previous back pattern now. The dots above mean higher than average volume. Okay, so one of the important things for me when trading is to ensure that I both got price action and volume. Even if I'm Forex trading, I would only choose a broker that actually gives me the volume. What's traded? How many buyers? How many sellers? Very, very important. So what we've got is higher than average volume on this move up, which is really, really great. So let's keep going. So what we're looking for at this moment in time is the manager's saying stay in the trade. The bias is green, the cloud is green, and that's our conservative. Also what we're looking for is potential red candles with higher than average volume, like this one here, but that was a one candle wonder. We look at the next candle, it starts to go up again. So let's move this forward. Okay, we're coming back down now. Okay, we're coming back down with lower than average volume. Although we're getting red candles, these are distribution candles, so it's got higher volume than the previous candle, which has higher volume than this one. The cyan is a down candle, but it has lower than average volume still, so we're pulling down. So at this point, even though it's come through the cloud is still green, so we're still staying in this trade right now. Look at that bounce back up there, and this is where we are right now. Okay, we're live right now. So one of the things I'd like to do is, once we've had this pivot test here, this pivot test here, this pivot test here, is let's make the trade risk-free, or aggressively let's make the trade lock in profit at this point below this pivot. Stay a couple of pivots behind. We've had this move down, but the manager was saying stay in the trade. These are lower than average volume pullbacks against the main trend. Our trade is bullish. We're coming down, even though we're getting distribution candles here, it's lower than average volume. Then we get an average volume candle, a big green candle, and then we pull back again on lower than average volume. We do get one candle here that was higher than average volume, and it was a down candle, but then the following candle is green. So that's accumulation. There's more buyers in the market at that point, and it's got higher than average volume. So we're holding at the moment. We're holding for support, probably waiting for data to come out in the US or something like that right now. But the sensible thing is we've allowed the manager to dictate where we're going to be. Okay, so we're still in this trade. We've locked in some profit because we came on this test of this pivot. This next pivot is higher, and this next pivot is higher again. So we've locked in. If this then pushes through this high here about 86040, let's adjust it to below this pivot. So right now we're risk free. We've locked in some profits. The whole trade came from our auto harmonic just here on the 12-minute for EURGBP. Sensible entry, probably quite conservative, but there's a lot going off in there. I want to make sure, because once it pushes through that, you can see how the momentum really goes here. And again, this is European morning here, so there's more traders coming in. We can see higher than average volume, and it's moving up really nicely. And now we're into that European lunchtime, in almost getting ready for the pre-market for the US session, and we've got some data coming out in about 15 minutes. We're sensibly locking in a little bit of profit before the data comes in. The main thing is we're risk-free. The manager's still saying stay in right now. The cloud is green. The pullbacks we've had have been predominantly lower than average volume. We had one higher than average volume here, but the one candle wonders don't count. It's when we get two red candles with a higher than average volume, that's our aggressive entry. But right now, we're still in this trade. The cloud is green, all is good, the bias is bullish, and we are just waiting for the manager to tell us what to do. I'm going to put links into the bottom of this description for the manager and also the auto harmonics, which is a really great tool for TradingView and lots of other platforms. Hope this has been useful for you, and I'll speak to you really soon.